Sandra's Heart Tale, Part 7, by Amah's Heart. As school was about to resume, I left my mom's place and returned to my father's house. I wanted to spend the remaining 1 week at his place before proceeding to school. I bond so well with my dad, and he doesn't joke with me. He will always advise me to concentrate on my studies. I shouldn't hesitate to inform him whenever I need anything. I was mostly grateful to God for sending him on my way when all my hope of going to school and having all my needs met was far-fetched. My dad loved and cared for my stepmom. The only problem was that having a child was their only issue. My dad loved his wife dearly, but the issue of the child keep bringing trouble between them. To me, all hope was not lost. I know they have been married for many years and tried to conceive, but to no avail. But God is still doing miracle. My everyday prayer is that God will open the womb of my stepmom and she will become a mother. Paulo, my dad, is a good man, a good father to me, and a great husband to his wife. My desire is to make him proud and put a real smile on his face. My stepmother wasn't friendly or appear happy whenever I'm around or when I'm having a conversation with my dad, which was the reason I will always stay in my room. I don't join them to watch television in the sitting room or sit in the parlor with them. I spend most of my time in my room. Once I'm done cleaning the whole house, I will return to my room and will only leave when I have something to do outside the room. Only my dad comes to check on me. He will ask me to come out and watch some television program in the sitting room, but I will assure him that I was okay being on my own. After 1 week was over, I returned to my hostel. I resumed school. It was my second year at the university, and studies was moving on smoothly as usual with the help of my father, who makes sure I lack nothing. My dad makes sure that send my allowance, extra upkeep, and I lack nothing in school, all thanks to my dad. I don't spend extravagantly. I make sure I save some money. As another year came, my first semester was almost coming to an end. It was on Sunday around 7 p.m. I called my dad to check up on him because I did not hear from him all weekend. It was unlike him, but I assume he was busy. I hardly call him at night because he may be with my stepmom. She may see my call and another quarrel with her my dad will start. I don't want to be the reason for their misunderstanding, for any misunderstanding between them, and which was why I had to use wisdom. When I called him that Sunday evening around 7 p.m., he picked and said he would call me back because he was in a meeting. I don't know if it was a family meeting or if it was an office meeting, but I obeyed and waited. I decided to be patient and wait till when he calls back. Around 8:45 p.m. that same night, I got a call. The caller said that my dad was involved in an accident. The person said it was a fatal motor accident and people did not rush him to the hospital immediately. Instead, they were making videos and taking pictures of his body, his bloody site. But he was later rushed to the hospital. Before he would get to the hospital, he gave up the ghost. My caller said that my dad died before he could even be attended to. It was shocking unbelievably. I asked of the hospital and was given the address. I quickly rushed out. I went to the said hospital and it was true. Paulo, my father, was dead. His car was completely damaged. I was finally allowed to see him because I demanded and was almost creating a scene that I wanted to see my dad. I saw him lying so still, covered in his own blood. His hand and some other part of his body was broken and smashed. At that moment, my world came crashing. I don't know what happened to me. I fell to the ground and passed out. I fainted. I woke up in the hospital bed. I tried to remember what I was doing there at first. It quickly occurred to me that my father was gone. I broke down completely and screamed with tears rushing down my face. My mother was called and she came to take me to her place. My father was put in the mortuary while I went home with my mom. His death came as a heavy shock. I began to wish it was a nightmare that I would wake up from. But days fly into weeks and I realized that my dad is never coming back. He was gone. He was my hero. He was my hope for better tomorrow. I studied hard because I really wanted to make him proud and watch him smile for all his sacrifice and love towards me. I can't put my pain into words. I was devastated. I had to suspend studies for some time and I went over to stay with my mom. I could not stop crying. I thought I was going to die. It felt like my entire world has come to an end. After 2 years of having my real father who cared deeply and showered me with love and everything a parent can give to a child, everything I could ask for, Palo gave it all to me, and just like unexpected win-win, they snapped him off, leaving me so broken and shattered. The funeral day was fixed. I traveled to his house to see how things were moving, if I can help out with anything possible. On his burial day, my mom, Lucia, and my ex-boyfriend, who, even though we have nothing going on and few of my school friends were all around to support and console me during such a hard period. I went back to school few days to my exam. This time around, my result was not encouraging at all. I failed most of my courses. A day won't pass without me crying. Things were gradually changing. I couldn't depend on my mom alone because her business wanted a big one, but my mom was very supportive and I added with my own savings. I usually save some of the allowance that my dad used to send for me before his death. I don't spend everything and wait for another to be sent to me. I spend what I supposed to spend and save the remaining. I wasn't living a flashy lifestyle in school. And my moderate living helped me during those hard times that my dad was no more. God was kind as I received for the paper that I failed during the exam. I passed all my courses. I was trying to live every day at a time. It was not easy, despite how difficult it was. Visiting my father's house was not even an option because I know his wife would give me tough time. I also wanted to know how she was coping with my dad's death. Since I can't go to the house, I decided to check up on her over the phone. I called her, but she didn't answer my call. I decided to send her a message, and she replied that she was doing great. That was all I wanted to know. It's a good thing that she was all right. As another semester holiday came, I traveled back to my mom's place. We both joined hands together in doing extra business outside the beverage store. We buy goods in large quantity and sell off to retailers so that my school fees, hostel fee, and few other expenses will be paid. My mom was very supportive and we were able to raise enough money during that period. Despite Palo, my dear father and supporter was gone, I won't fold my hands and wait for some manna to fall onto me. I have to do whatever legal business I can do just to remain standing. Palo may be gone, but I hope to still make him proud someday. He remains a great father, and that only comes once in a lifetime. His death is a mystery, but I'm focusing on the future and won't let anything hinder my progress. Watch out for Sandra's Heart Part 8 by Amah's Heart.